Friends, the time has come and the time is now. In today's video, we are talking all about the results of almost 6 weeks of using high-end skincare products on one half of my face and all affordable Korean skincare products on the other half. We're going to talk about all of the ingredients and products that I used. I took before and after videos to share with you. I even used tools so that I could track my moisture levels in my skin, wrinkles, redness, pore size, etc. And I'm here with the 6-week results. And the 6-week results are that on both sides of my face, my skin got worse. Well, this is useless. Throw the video away. No. It is so important, even though this doesn't always happen, it is so important for scientists to publish their data. Because you spent all this time doing something, even if it looks like your hypothesis didn't happen, maybe there still is something to be discovered from the data that you gathered. Now, to be fair, you all know the huge disclaimer here. N equals 1, ultimately this research project, if you will. It's all just for fun, but I really do actually think in the end of this video, we're going to come to some very interesting conclusions that might make you see skincare a bit differently. If you are new to this channel, my skin type is dry, acne prone, and a bit sensitive, and I like to have timestamps in the description box below. This is going to be a little bit of a different video though, so we'll see how that goes. But I will try. I like to try to set things up nicely and neatly for you, which means I do think that the best place to start this video is to tell you about my methods. What did I do? Now, I've done these kind of split-face trials before, and I do know that it gets very, very tiring. You kind of start out with this energy and enthusiasm, and then doing every single step in your skincare routine twice a day, twice to one side of your face and to the other. It gets tedious quickly. So I wanted to try to keep this a little bit smaller. A lot of my focus was on vitamin C products. That's what I used for my serums in this comparison. And so I went with the Peter Thomas Roth Potency. This is using 20% THD ascorbate, which is something that actually is hard to find in Korean skincare. So in contrast, the Korean skincare product I used is the Beauty of Joseon Light On Serum with centella and vitamin C derivative in the form of 3-O-ethyl ascorbate at 10%. And even in the end of this trial, I do actually like both of these products. The PTR is a lot more expensive. It also kind of smells funky. But I still do think that the Beauty of Joseon is a good option. I do kind of get the feeling that the Peter Thomas Roth is stronger, but hey, you know what? Consistency is everything in skincare. After all these years of trying skincare products, I would tell you it is far better to find products that fit your budget and stick with them rather than to buy an expensive product once a year and try to stretch it out. Hopefully that makes sense. I also looked for kind of heavier moisturizers that would work for my dry skin type. On the K-Beauty side, I went with the Astura 8O Barrier 365 cream. And on the other side of my face, I went with the Dermalogica Multivitamin Power Recovery Cream. Even now, at the end of this experiment, I still feel like, goodness gracious, I loved using that Dermalogica. You see all of the essential oils that are in that, right? I mean, it is chock full of them. But the texture is absolutely gorgeous, and yet, if you watched Friday's video, then you already know. As much as I sit here and tell you I loved this Dermalogica cream, will I repurchase it? No, because I honestly feel like the Extreme Cream, this one right here, from InBeauty, gives me that same really rich sensation. I don't know if you can capture it in photos. It probably is that excellent fatty acid profile. That's something that appears in ingredients lists. We know how it feels on our skin, but I don't think we talk that much about the fatty acids in our skincare. And yet I suspect they do play a big role. Now, as for eye cream, I went with the VT Reedle Shot Lifting Eye Cream. Again, I really wanted to point out that I made a mistake with this in the past. I had said I don't understand why the company didn't offer refills. They do offer refills. And you probably know about VT Cosmetics from their very popular Reedle shot. That is something where do not get it in your eye, so why would they make it an eye cream? I've actually seen people say that this includes Reedles in it, and it simply doesn't. This does not include that hydrolyzed sponge ingredient. Instead, the whole idea with this, the reason why you have this vibrating component to it, is that vibration is supposed to push the ingredients deeper into your skin, right? In lieu of having those spicule ingredients, you have this delivery system. In the process of using this, I came to not like it that much. There were a lot of times where this eye cream just started going off on my counter. I feel like it was having some electrical malfunctioning, and that just got very annoying to hear this loud vibrating sound randomly coming from my bathroom. Then again, that could be some kind of a me problem. I always encourage you to share any thoughts you may have on these products, so let me know in the comments. Did any of you run into that problem with this eye cream? I received this gifted through, I think, a Stylevana advent calendar. And speaking of gifted products, I did try the Barber Sturm eye cream on the other half of my face. This was PR, $150 for a half ounce of eye cream. Do you realize that's the equivalent of $300 for one fluid ounce? That's so expensive. This is also the reason why we had to stop this trial. I would have continued, except I ran out of this product. And no, I'm sorry, but no, I was just not going to repurchase this. I just simply do not see enough of a difference in my eye area to justify spending that much more money. And the one final comparison that I did was the Clarins Cryo Flash Cream Mask on half my face. I wanted to revisit this. They had sent this to me in PR. I know this was a very viral product for a while. I did that in contrast to the I'm From Rice Mask. I do feel like this is the shakiest comparison in the whole video, and a lot of this just comes down to the fact that, this is a very unique product. As far as I know, there's not any real cooling products on the market that I could have used as essentially a dupe side, minus the fact that you could get a cool jade roller and you could use that. But I did try it with the I'm From Rice mask. However, it's a very different product. It's more of a physical exfoliant, and I'm just not sure how these two compared. So in all truth, while I tried to do something with these masks, we're gonna kind of eliminate these a bit from this video because I don't think it was as good of a comparison as ultimately, in the beginning of this project, I wanted it to be. So we'll kind of just focus on this comparison of these 6 products, bearing in mind that, again, this is all just really for fun. We're not really saying, oh, these results are because of one specific product. Instead, it's because of the concept. But let's spend some time chatting about the results. So I will show you my before and after so you can get a really good look. This is all verified by that device that I used. What we noticed is that I have more redness and larger pores on the K-Beauty side in comparison to the high-end side. Not by a lot. I don't want to make it sound like, oh no, those products really ruined my skin, because they didn't. In fact, on the high-end side, I actually had more breakouts, and that might simply be explained by the fact that I was using some products with essential oils, and I do have a bit of sensitive skin. But in the end, we did notice that my skin has a little tiny bit more of this sheen, that almost glass skin-like effect from the Western side. Now, I don't want this to sound like I'm saying the expensive side did better. That is actually not what happened. If you look at both sides of my face before and after, you can see that my skin is simply less good looking on both sides. So let's talk about my theory as to what happened. And again, bearing in mind, this is all just my theory. Hypothetically, when you buy from brands like Peter Thomas Roth, Dermalogica, these are brands that say they put a lot of science into their products. So you are supposed to be paying for expertise, for hours and hours of research. You're supposed to be paying for cutting edge ingredients. I also think that paying for the latest science and breakthroughs doesn't guarantee on an individual level that we will have the same results as the people that these brands did their studies on. Again, I'm bringing up the essential oils yet again because I have more sensitive skin. So my skin was actually kind of worse the entire time I was using this particular moisturizer, probably because it was mildly irritated by the essential oils. Not everyone will be. Again, Dermalogica uses this incredibly low level of essential oils, not enough to trigger a response for most people. But I am not most people. I am more sensitive. So you can give me all the science, all the research. If there is one tiny curveball of, oh, but there's a bunch of mildly sensitizing ingredients in here that might provoke her sensitive skin, well then, that could undo every bit of good. Meanwhile, on the K-beauty side, I don't necessarily think anything went tremendously wrong. I really don't. I think that all of these products did what they said they would. I mean, my skin felt pretty moisturized the whole time. I didn't have any severe breakouts on the K-beauty side. Again, you could argue that that side went better for me simply because it was the non-irritating side. But I ultimately think there is something very different to take home from today's video, and that is, yeah, but Alice, what were you doing before this trial? How many of you have already thought that at this point in this video? Yes, what was I doing before this? Well, I was kind of on a bit of a break. I was just kind of using my absolute favorite skincare products. What if the reason why it seems like both this expensive side and these popular K-beauty products went so wrong for me is simply because these aren't my favorites? Maybe it's that my favorites are these very tried and true products for my dry, acne-prone, and a bit sensitive skin type. In the event that you are wondering what my favorite products are, I'll make sure to link you that in the cards here. I'll link it below as well. Do you understand how fun this conclusion is? Do you understand what this means? Don't worry what other people are doing. Do you hear about some new trending, very popular, viral products perhaps? It doesn't necessarily mean you need to drop your routine and go buy those. I did it with K-beauty products and I did it with expensive products, and both sides, my skin looked worse than my beloved, my own tries and trues. My ultimate conclusion of this entire study that we did over here is that there's a reason you have chosen your routine. There's a reason why your favorite products are your favorite products. It's probably because they work for you, right? How fun is this? This is really just proving trusting ourselves. And my friends, that's it for this video. That's it for this research that we did. That's it. I would love to hear your thoughts, of course. Feel free to chime in the comments. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've ever done anything like this. But I feel like what we learned today, the moral lesson of the day, is something that I can really resonate with. I hope you all are doing well. I hope you have a most wonderful weekend. If you enjoyed today's video, please do me a favor and make sure to like and subscribe. Again, no video this upcoming Friday, but I will be back next week. And so I will see you all next time.